hello there. I'm a little bit late, but let's talk about it. Do me a favor, share this. Share this with everyone. I'm glowing, okay? Do you see this glow? Just got back from New York, but I'm also using a new facial cleanser with vitamin C. But I am just, it's no makeup on, guys. Anyways, welcome to my life. Here you are. Let me know if you used to follow me on Periscope. You already know the deal. Like, I can't do the whole, let's talk today, okay? I can't do all of that. You're gonna see me get some water. You may see me answer the door. This is just life, okay? This is just life. This is real life. But I figured I would bring you into my kitchen. Now, the plan was to cook something while I'm in here. But I didn't have all my ingredients. So I didn't want to fake cook. I didn't want to fake cook. And then you feel like this doesn't look right. So we're not doing that. But I wanted to talk about, we have about 30 minutes. And I want to talk about marriage and all those things. But I wanted to come live because I don't like pre-recorded content. So, I tried the whole YouTube thing, and I am going to go on YouTube again. But I need to talk to some people, okay? I need to talk to you. So, here's what I want you to do. I want you to type some questions. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, do you all want to see what I'm using?
Yes.
Hold on, I'll be back. Here's the thing. I'm not going to show you unless you share this. I'm not going to show you, okay? You do something for me, I do something for you. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you. Did you share it? Did you share it? Don't lie. Okay? I want to check. Okay. First up, now I think this line is a little pricey, but for me, I don't want to be the type that, I turn 60 and I look 80. You know what I mean? I love wearing makeup, but I want to wake up and my skin is just, okay, so I just got this. This is a vitamin C cleanser. Do you see? 111 Skin. Can you see this? Let me know, okay? Because I did pass my driver's test, but you know how when you have to put your eye in the thing? Okay, let's skip that in case they're watching me. I can see. Okay, so this is the Vitamin C Brightening Cleanser, all right? And then the Essence from the same line. Essence Amazing Boom, okay? For those eyes that are squinting a little bit. And then this is not from that same line, but this is the cream moisturizer. But let me show you what I add to this. This is a vitamin C brightening booster. Because if you see, I've had a lot of hyperpigmentation, especially I feel like after I had my son, and I just wanted to just vanish. Go away. Okay, just go away. That's what I use. So if you want your skin to get that or get something similar, I don't know. But anyways, just make sure you do your facial routine. Don't go to sleep with all that makeup on your face and it's all in your pillow and come on. All right, back to what I was saying, which I have no idea what I was saying. Welcome to Kitchen Talk. This is how we do it, guys. This is how we do it. This is how the Periscope days used to be. And if you all don't show up on Instagram, then I'm going to YouTube because I won't be able to. I won't be able to. Yes, it's 111 Skin. That's the line. So let's talk about marriage and the kitchen and all these things. And I have a couple of my students. Can you come on over here? They're so cute. Hello there. Hi. They're so, but can one of you get my Uber Eats from the door? I just got a notification, and I do live in Dallas, which, it's 90 degrees outside. But I'm wearing leather year round. I may sweat, but I'm wearing it. Okay, so we're talking about, this is a jumpsuit. Yes. I've been working out, doing my walks, 10,000 steps a day. I don't do, what is that called? Weight training anymore for a lot of different reasons, but I'm not gonna get into all that today. So let's talk about kitchen talk and marriages. How long have you been married?
I've been married 13 years.
What's your name?
My name is Alicia Scott.
If you don't know me, I'm Amanda Ferguson. It's nice to see you today, okay? What's your name?
My name's Christine.
How long have you been married?
I have been married for 8 years.
Okay, how many children do you have?
I have 2 girls.
How many children do you have?
I have 2.
And I have a whole lot. I have a bunch of children. Last night, we were eating dinner together, and I was like, well, hello, welcome home. Sometimes it sounds so chaotic, like all these kids want, I want some juice, I want some water, but I don't know, the older I get, I guess I'm getting more sentimental, because to me, the sound of all that noise is the sound of life. And if you didn't know, I had a miscarriage before I had my son. And if you encounter something like that, you begin to appreciate things that you probably didn't appreciate before. Now, I did have, the girls were born in 3 years. Just a little backstory about me. And we had 3 in 3 years. Was it planned? Yes. Would I plan it again if I knew it was be like that? No. Okay. Whew. For all of you who have 3 under 3, God bless you. Bless you. Bless you. Okay, so we had 3 under 3. And then we took like a 3-year break because we were tired, sleepy, no sleep, team no sleep for a long, long time, probably like 5 years. Can I be honest with you all though? This is just like the real. On a good week, all of our children sleep all night, like once a week. That's just the real, like for real. So that's why we take our vacation seriously. We went to New York to celebrate my husband's birthday. We've been married 11 years. And we called the girls while we were gone. Okay, this is where it gets a little sad. Call the girls on FaceTime. They answered, hey, mommy, like, what's up? What do you need? Well, I need to talk to you. I miss you. They're like, yeah, we're watching a movie. We miss you, mommy, but we're like, you're interrupting our movie.
Heartbroken.
And then I look at my husband and he's like, I told you, like these kids are gonna grow up. We have to focus on us. So that's why I'm doing this talk today. We believe in a marriage-centered family and not a child-centered family. So many people flip it and they make their whole lives about their children. Instead of letting everything flow from the top down. Our kids see us show affection, they see us go on vacations, they see us do all of that thing because we reiterate to them that when they get married, like your husband or your wife is more important. Because we have a son, he's 3, he won't understand all that right now, but they will be more important as far as making sure they're good before the children. And I know it sounds like a weird thing, especially for those of you who may be single and your children are your everything. Here's my declaration. Nobody is my everything but Jesus.
Amen.
My husband is not my everything. My children are not my everything. My career is not my everything. God is my everything. Like everything. He saved me. He delivered me. He rescued me. In 2007, I almost committed suicide. I contemplated driving my car off of a bridge. And I told the Lord, I said, look, it's nothing else for me. My therapist at that time had told me, you either need to take pills to wake up and go to sleep, or you need to go to a mental hospital. And I was kind of like, I don't want to do either. And I don't know if I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it with you all because you've been sharing this post. Okay. But one of the main reasons why I didn't want to go to a mental hospital is because when I was little, I saw my father in a mental hospital. And I remember walking in, I still don't know for the life of me why my mom took me there to visit him because it's a scary place. I remember walking in and seeing people strapped to the bed in the mental hospital. I remember walking in that mental hospital, seeing people screaming, seeing like it felt like despair. It felt like death. And I remember walking in to see my father, in a mental hospital and feeling like this is not a place for peace. This is not a place for joy. And I knew at that age, I was 9 years old. I knew at that age that I never wanted to be in a place. So in 2007, and my therapist, I mean, she wasn't saved, I wasn't saved. So I need a Christian therapist, right? She thought she was helping me. She felt like I wouldn't be able to make it in life because of all the trauma that I had gone through between sexual abuse, verbal abuse, emotional abuse, the type of traumatic home that I dealt with. And 2007, I said, Lord, I'm either going to drive myself off this bridge or I'm going to go to this church service. And if you touch me, like it was such a simple prayer because the drugs couldn't do it. The clubs couldn't do it. And I was a club girl. There was no party till I got there. I mean, I'm telling you, there was no party until I got there. But when you have a call of God on your life, when other people can get drunk and go to sleep, you sober up and you're miserable. You're miserable. They can go. My friends would get drunk, go to sleep. I would wake up because I knew I had a call of God on my life. Some of you watching me, you know that too. You know that too. That's why you try to fit in and you're not comfortable. Come on back to the Lord. So I went to this church service. Pastor called me up, prayed for me, and he said, you look like you don't even want to be here. I said, had God not touched me tonight, I would have ended my life. That's why God is my everything. Everything. So that's just a little backstory for those of you who don't know that. So most of my life, I've gotten so much bad advice. Okay, let me do 2 because my girls told me it's only 2, okay? Because when I get to talking, my hands go moving. So I've gotten so much bad advice about connection. Okay, there we go. About marriage. But something in me always felt like, where is this advice coming from? Because if your marriage is miserable, is this the type of advice I want to get from somebody? And it will be well-meaning people, to the point that my bridal shower, people wrote me notes. One of the notes said, whatever you do, get your own account. So if your husband leaves you, you'll have a stash he doesn't know anything about.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
I wasn't even married yet, and you're already thinking perhaps my husband's gonna leave me? Oh, because you've already been divorced. Mm-hmm. Or, people in ministry telling us, like, never show your spouse on social media. Don't talk about marriage. Strictly focus on ministry. Until I found out, it's because you've been married 30 years and we never saw your husband.
Hello.
I see now. And I started thinking, where is the source? If I want to be successful in an area, I need to surround myself by people who are successful in that area. And so my perspective, I know, is a lot different than what a lot of people see on social media as it relates to marriage. I don't have a marriage struggle story. I just don't. That's not my thing. But I do have some mistakes that I made in my marriage that I want to talk about. Since we're in the kitchen, let's talk about when I first got married, and I'm going to let them share because I feel like in the beginning of our marriage, I had some insecurities because my mom died a few months before we got married. So there were some natural insecurities there, like I don't know who to ask about marriage because my mom had died already. And so the first time I went grocery shopping for him, for us, for the house, for our little apartment, I came home and I had some coffee creamer, okay? And he said he liked vanilla, so I brought vanilla, but it was the powder kind. And he saw the creamer and he was like, I don't drink that type of creamer. Something in me was like, I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that. And I felt like, and I know it sounds crazy right now because some of you are like, it's just creamer. But I felt like it was an attack on me as a woman. Like, why didn't I know to not get powdered creamer and get the liquid creamer? Like, it sounds crazy, but 11 and a half years ago, I had so many just, oh my gosh, I don't want to mess up. I don't want to do the wrong thing. And all of that is a place of fear. So I want you to use this to grow. So, Alicia, let's go to you. What do you feel like? And Alicia has been with me for how many years?
Almost 6. I believe 5 now.
And let me tell you a funny story about Alicia. She didn't like me. Don't hide. She didn't like me. She was like, I don't like her. She didn't like me. Well, I won't say you didn't like me.
I didn't know you.
You didn't know
but
me.
I did not want to get to know you.
But she didn't want to get to know me. But her husband saw my program, my Feminine Woman Academy, which I'll be opening up soon. I haven't opened it up in a year and a half. It transforms lives. That's not what this is about. But he signed her up.
He did, ma'am.
Did he ask you?
No, ma'am. he pretended like it was a present, a gift. And I was like, this is not a gift. And so I used to pop off a whole lot. So after that gift, I popped off.
You popped off.
I don't need this.
But what do you feel like it was? Do you feel like it was an insecurity?
Yes, ma'am. I felt like I knew everything. I felt like I knew everything, and even in my home, I acted like I knew everything, and he was just there. You're just here to serve me, and that's how I treated him.
Wait, he was there to serve you. That was it.
That is how I treated him. Yes, ma'am. We were really good friends, but like when I would get upset, and pop off. And I popped off after he signed me up, and then after a couple of months, I think I was like, okay, I think I might need a little help. Just a little bit, you know. I might start cooking now.
But why is it so important? Because I remember and you may not believe this now, this is why I wanted to do this live, but my mom was such a great cook with no recipe. You know, old fashioned people didn't have a recipe. That I was so intimidated. I couldn't even make eggs. I was so intimidated about everything in the kitchen because she was so good at it. And I always tell people, you're either intimidated or you're inspired. One keeps you stuck and one helps you grow. Period. And so even though there was a learning curve, and another funny story, I didn't start cooking until 2008, right? I met my husband in 2009. So I would invite him over to my house with my mom, and he didn't know I didn't know how to cook. and so I would cook this dinner, and I would just slide it to him, say, you know, are you hungry? You know, my mom wanted me to cook dinner. Are you hungry? I will tell you, one time he said most of it was good, but I made some pork chops. Been a long time, but every once in a while I still want to apologize. Those pork chops were so dry because I found a recipe and it said put some pork chops and soak it in some milk. some whole milk, and then sprinkle the seasonings on top of the milk. And I didn't know how to cook, so I said, okay, this sounds good. When I slid him those pork chops, I promise you he choked. That's what I knew. Okay, let me stick to chicken. I was so, maybe this is my healing moment. I kid you not, I haven't made pork chops since. maybe I'm receiving healing because it's been 14 years, 15, and I've yet to, maybe God is healing my heart, but I don't believe anybody should bite down in something and your teeth just get stuck. Okay, I don't think anybody. So I always tell people, when people see me now and they see me cooking all these things, you got to remember, I started where you are now. I probably started worse than you. I'm telling you, my sister told me to make some eggs one time. I got some eggs and a spoon and just stirred it. And I remember her husband took the bowl and was like,
What's happening?
It's okay.
he was like,
I'll take it. I'll take over.
you must be sleepy. Don't. I started here, but I decided me being intimidated isn't doing anything for me. So many women that say, I don't know how to cook, I don't want to learn how to cook. That's fine if that's what you want, but for me, I knew that I had a desire to learn how to cook. I had a desire to learn how to do everything that you feel like I do effortlessly. It took time, okay? It took time. So someone said my sweet potato casserole. Yes, I'm telling you now. We actually had sweet potato casserole last night from Ruth's Chris, and this is no shade to Ruth's Chris. Don't tag them. This is our secret. Don't tag. But they have strings in their casserole, and I don't like that. Okay, one thing the old, the old saints would tell you: when you make sweet potato pie, sweet potato casserole, those strings have to go. They have to go. And I have a whole digital cookbook with the best sweet potato pie, sweet potato casserole. This is not what this is about. But anyways, it's good.
It's amazing. Yes, ma'am.
I may tell you a joke, but I won't tell you a lie. I may tell you. Oh, but while I'm here, is there a way to pin this? If you like this, tomorrow we start the Feminine Asset Challenge. About being an asset. Do you want to talk about how you didn't want to quit your job, or you want to say that for another day? Whew.
It's a long one, ma'am.
But you all are about to move and everything. What happened? Oh, you're gonna type it in. So if you all see some little fingers, it's not mine. But Feminine Asset Challenge, the link is in the bio. If you love these, it can't compare to being on a Zoom. This is like fun, and those are fun too, but I want you to leave with strategy, because it's a whole lot of foolishness out here that's not serving you, not God's way. So I put that in, well, I didn't. She did, but you can't see her face. Put the link in there. You got to join us in this Feminine Asset Challenge, because you can be an asset for your family, for your husband, for your children, for your job, but you need the tools to know how. And one thing that I told this one, do you feel like you're an independent woman?
Yes, ma'am.
So she was INDE. Okay, so she was independent woman, and her husband wanted her to quit. Put in her notice to help him. He was getting a lot of contracts and all these things. But what was your mindset back then?
So my mindset was, I was fearful that the ball would get dropped. And I remember asking you, ma'am, I said, well, what if it doesn't work out? I was just fearful to be broke. Even though we were like right near the broke line.
With you working?
Yes, ma'am. With me working. Yes, ma'am. And I said, what? Because I felt like I had to have control.
That's the key.
Yes, ma'am.
The key is being in control. It's very difficult to surrender. Can I tell you something?
Yes,
a lot of women feel like it's difficult to surrender in marriage, but you know what the key is? It's difficult for them to surrender to God. Ultimately, my husband is not my source. God is my source. And when you struggle to surrender in one area, it's usually because you're struggling to surrender to God.
Wow.
Because you feel like, I got the job. I got the money. I got this. Well, if you're doing all of that, what room have you left for the Lord? The Lord is your shepherd. You shall not want. And so many times women, they say they want a man, but at the same time, they don't trust not just him, but they don't trust God. That's what I wanted you to see.
Yes, ma'am.
So finally, it took you some time.
It took me a year, ma'am. Maybe 8 months to a year.
But what happened, to the income, like times it by, was it times one?
I would say our household income tripled after.
Without you working?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm gone. Bye. I'm not gone. I'm back. I'm back. Huh?
Tripled, yes, ma'am.
God blesses order. Type that in the chat. God blesses order. And I remember when I started my company, what I was doing was a lot different. If you didn't know, I have an educational firm, but I do a lot of things underneath that bracket where I teach all things womanhood. And, they're in all of our communities. But God blesses order. And ultimately, like I said, you have to trust God. So here it is. You didn't want to surrender to God.
No, ma'am.
Definitely didn't want to submit to your husband.
No, ma'am.
You probably rolled your eyes at me a few times.
Yes,
But what I was trying to get you to see is that when you all come together as one, God blesses that oneness, and then everything is multiplied.
yes, ma'am.
That's why when women told me to have my other stash 11 years ago, what they don't realize is I have not worked for anybody since 2013. 10 years. I have not clocked into anybody. I do not have to pay any bills, okay? And I'm a millionaire by myself. My husband is a multi-millionaire, so, all that. But it came from, you see me now, but you don't remember, you didn't know me the years when I was helping push his business. Because why? I knew that power of us coming together, being on one accord, would accelerate his business. And then he was able to provide the capital to start mine. And so many people don't realize you need capital to start things. And I needed a whole lot of capital to start my company. And he was able to fund it because I got very clear when women were trying to get in my ear women told me all kinds of things like, don't let him dumb you down. Don't let him sit you down. Don't let him, you're smart. You were doing things on your own. Yes, I was. And how far did that get me? Okay, so now you say that again.
So our income tripled. And ma'am, before I quit, I did a side business. And I remember I was in one of your classes and you asked, what is the state of your family? And I thought about it, like when I was doing my business at night, my kids would be at the door or jumping into my life like, what we eating? There was no order. I had like that hustle mentality. But then after I released my fears and anxiety and went ahead and came into unity with my husband, our income tripled from what we were making together to just him and me serving.
To just him.
To just him, yes, ma'am.
And then guess what? So I told them to come over today. They have time to go to the gym, to go. What did you tell me last week? You went out on a movie date in the middle of the day?
I take myself to the movie.
What?
Yes,
like,
ma'am.
who is this woman? We say we want this soft life, but it's crazy because sometimes the opportunities, for me, there is nothing worth me putting my family on the back burner. As many of you know, I had a big conference 2 years ago in 2021, and people always ask me, it was so successful, why aren't you doing it again right now? Because right now, I'm working on my health. I'm exercising, I'm eating right. My girls are in ballet. They have a very, very rigorous ballet schedule. They made, a ballet company. I've turned down engagements. Someone wanted me to come speak this weekend. I can't. I'm in New York, okay? Someone wanted me to speak during the Thanksgiving holiday or around that time. I can't because my girls are preparing for Nutcracker. I want to throw them this big Nutcracker party. I will be making cookies. And I know that sounds very almost carnal to some people. And the reason why it is because you believe your success was built in how much you're doing to show to the public. My motto was always, I refuse to save the whole world and lose my home. My success, the Proverbs 31 woman, her husband and children arose and called her blessed. I never wanted my children to rise up and call me cursed. I never wanted my husband to rise up and call me cursed. Okay? So the reality is, so many people in ministry that do so many things don't realize that some of the most important people are in their house. So I've always steered them, number one, to the Lord. And one thing I asked Alicia when she came to me and asked, I said, well, what did your husband say? Because I'm not going against anything that your spouse has already told you. And you probably thought we sounded alike.
Yes, ma'am.
Identical. Identical. And I'm like, your husband is trying to show you, to give you a better life. Could you go to the gym anytime you wanted to?
No, ma'am. I did not go to the gym. I couldn't go anywhere, ma'am. After work, you come home, you cook, you go to bed, and then it was like a cycle. Like you're on this Ferris wheel, and I was exhausted. I wasn't able to be a wife and a mom that I should have been while I was trying to. I really was trying to be the man. And you were telling me that you was like, that's not your role.
And that's honest though.
Yes, ma'am.
Because a lot of people, especially people who've come from a lifetime of trauma, you don't realize you can perpetuate, or dysfunction, you can perpetuate certain cycles because that's all you know. When my mom was alive, one thing she always told me is, whatever you do, don't make your husband fresh meals frequently. Because if you make it, he's going to expect it. But do you know where that came from? Because my father, my father was addicted to drugs. My father, he demanded her to make him a fresh meal every single day. He refused to eat leftovers, and she worked a full job. My husband has never demanded that I cook anything. He loves when I cook, but sometimes if I don't feel up to it, he's like, no, it's no problem. You don't have to do that. She gave me advice based on her trauma. And you have to be around women who are happy, who are healthy, who love Jesus. You'll be amazed at the people that hate my guts because I'm happy. Like that just really, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? I refuse to be that. Because I remember when I was too depressed to get out of bed, 2007. I remember when I wanted to take my life. So when I wake up and this joy of the Lord, it is real. And so many times people are pessimistic when they see people, happy marriages, happy families, wealthy families, and they feel like this has to be fake. The fact that your pessimism makes you go to that thought lets you know you haven't been around enough goodness. You haven't been around enough joy. You haven't been around enough happiness or health. That's all you're used to. So anything outside of that, anything outside of struggle love, trauma love, toxic love, must be fake. Come on to the good side, boo. Come on over here. Because you told me something last week.
Yes, ma'am.
I asked Christine, I said, and I'm sorry, I feel like I'm blocking them, but we tried to go live on the laptop, but it wouldn't allow us to. So if you all know how to go live on the laptop, let us know. Are you sharing this? See, I should have saved this to the end. But Christine we were eating, and I host women all the time, and I asked you something. I said, well, how are you doing? Tell the people.
I said, I'm not going to feel bad for saying this because I felt bad in the past, but I am genuinely 100% happy.
But the fact that you had to feel bad in the past. So what did you used to feel bad about?
I think it was the community I was in before. It was just all toxic.
So you mentioned like you like nice hotels.
I like nice hotels. I like to eat at nice restaurants. And as I was going through my process of healing, that community would make me feel a certain type of way for growing. They would make me feel some type of way for, I used to say like, oh, well, God bless me. I'll just put the money in the bank and not enjoy it and just act like I just want to go to Dunkin' Donuts rather than want to go to Starbucks. And I withheld joy, peace, just waking up every single day and just having life.
Happiness. Like how you see us. Come in, Alicia. This is how we are. Tell them. This is how we are all the time. And if you're not around, like when I was raised in, I was raised in church my whole life. All the women had a perpetual, like this kind of face. And I used to think like maybe the stronger you are in the Lord, the more your face begins to mold to that. I had women tell me they don't allow other women to hug them because whatever spirit's on them may get in their hair and their hair will fall out. I mean, I'm just like, first of all, the Holy Ghost in me is no match for whatever devil's in you.
Amen.
So I don't care if you hug me or not. Okay? This is the perspective of how I was raised. I was raised with very strong prophetic women who are always in warfare. Number one, that's not biblical. The Bible says that his burden is light. He talks about this light affliction is before a moment. Why in the world are you always fighting demons? Marine demons, earth demons, sky demons, jello demons, sweet demons, Dunkin' demons. Like, what? You mean to tell me God put you here for you to always be in a fight? Because that's what you're around all the time. I tell them all the time, some of the most spiritual things you can do is go home and love your family. Like minister to your family, minister to your husband, minister to your children. Go exercise, eat right. I have them making sure they have performance diets, meaning what do you eat? Food that fuels you. I realize my perspective is a lot different from what's out there. And that's why I shared, because I didn't have anybody to share this perspective with me. I thought prophetic and highly called meant sad, depressed. You're always in a cave. When do you come out? Is it like a seasonal thing? Do you go in once a year and you come out the cave? No. And then I looked at the state of their homes. For one thing, I always told them, hey, before you go to church or you go somewhere, clean your house.
Yes, ma'am.
Like get God bless his order.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? God bless his order. And I always say this, God is always doing more than the devil. And so if you're around communities of people and women are mean and they're brash, they're mean, because the problem is you can't turn it off. Some people say, well, I'm just brash in the pulpit. No, I promise you, they're like that at home. They're like that to their husbands. They're like that to their children because it's become a part of their personality. But when you stay around people, women who are really at the feet of Jesus, that's when the softness comes. Because so many times women are women of war instead of women of worship. Worship, I tell them all the time, worship will make you soft. It will make you forgive. It will make you repent. There are times that God has convicted me so much in prayer, like you need to go and repent to your husband. You need to go apologize. You need to go and apologize to your children. There are times in this kitchen where maybe I said something too quick to my children, or maybe I was just unfocused, and I go to them and I apologize to them, because at the end of the day, I want to be a woman of love. To me, you may not see me doing big ministry, because like I said, I'm in the season, I'll much rather be at home baking cookies. I'm just telling you now, that's ministry. I tell them all the time, your husband was a pastor.
Yes, ma'am.
A pastor. And she used to wear these big old collars. Did they choke?
They were oversized. 3X.
Woo!
Thank you, Jesus.
And now look at you all. We are all getting our bodies together.
Yes.
Do you know that even you being in shape glorifies God?
Wow.
Taking your health seriously. Both of my parents died already. And they both died hard deaths. They didn't take care of themselves. They didn't take care of their bodies. So many times people say, I'll die for my kids. My question is, will you live for your kids?
Wow.
I'm living for mine. I'm living for myself. I'm living for my children. I'm living for my husband. We feel like all of this, that we sacrifice our health and our livelihood to save the masses, but you're losing your own self. I'm not burnt out. I don't live a burnt out life. I'll take my little night-night chocolates or my magnesium. I get deep sleep. Today is Monday. My cleaners came. They clean my house every Monday. My house is clean. It's organized. That is what it's like to live a life of order. So Feminine Asset Challenge. Both of you all are amazing assets to your husbands, because I talk to your husbands. When your husbands are with my husband, they're like, man, my wives they're amazing. Like, your husband was like, my wife is so mushy. Look at this. You can cry. And there's another thing. I wasn't raised with women who knew how to cry, who knew how to just be mushy. My greatest compliment is like, girl, you're strong. Boss babe, please don't ever call me a boss babe. That's not for me. That's not for me. That's not for me. I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. I don't want to be, no, I'm not a boss babe. My greatest compliment is when my husband tells me I'm sweet. My children tell me I'm sweet. And I cried last week because Maya, she was writing this journal, and they write these illustrative stories and a little bit about her family. And one thing she wrote in her journal at school, her teacher let me see, was, she said, I love my family. I love that my mom and dad are so happy, and we have a happy family. Guys, my childhood was filled with crack cocaine on the stove. My childhood was filled with my mom preaching on Sundays and coming to get in the bed from depression. My home was filled with us ripping our couches apart to find pennies so my mom could roll it in a scarf so I could have money, because my dad gambled it all. I don't care about being seen to the masses. The numbers, the Instagram followers, I don't care. What matters to me is when my legacy is telling me, thank you for being this example of a mom. When my girls tell me, I want to be just like you. When my girls ask me, Mommy, show me how to walk. My daughter, my oldest, some of you know, she was in cheer. And we're about to wrap this up. And my husband said from day one she was only going to do 2 competitions and she was going to get out. But after the second competition, I started noticing she didn't like it so much. So I was kind of like, hey, what's going on? She said, Mommy, cheer is loud. Cheer is cool. But she said, I want to be very poised like you. I want to be very graceful. And she was already in ballet. They've already been in ballet for quite a while. And she said, I want to get out of cheer and just really focus on ballet. My girls want to be poised. They want to be confident for Jesus. That is one of the greatest success that I wake up and I smile every day. Your children, to see you, you're able to be involved in your children's lives. I see you take them out on dates. Don't get caught in this fake success of people who are still in trauma mode to tell you, hustle, you don't need to sleep, because I can promise you, more than likely, they're running away from something. You have to be secure that even if you're not doing what other people are doing, you are doing what God has given you to do. You heard her income 3x. I can't even.
From 68 to millions.
From what? Bring it in. And I'm about to go.
From 68,000, a family of 4. You do the math.
To what?
To millions.
And this came because I coached them into order, into being women of order who took care of your home, who took care of your husband, took care of your children. My perspective is different, but they have reaped the benefits. I give them a perspective that I've always known is right, but that I never saw. Feminine Asset Challenge. We start tomorrow. I'm telling you, it's about to be 3 days. I think we have 6 VIP slots left. So to work with me for 1 hour is a whole lot of money. Thousands and thousands of dollars. But for super low price, if you go VIP, you're able to get your questions answered. So again, you have an asset on the inside of you, but it's being buried because you're in the wrong community. You're not around happy, healthy, whole people. You're not around people who are, number one, leading you to Jesus, and then number two, leading you to his design for the family, for the home, and just everything. So 3 days, we're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be fun. I may have a little DJ. Actually, I'm gonna be the DJ.
Okay.
I'm gonna be the DJ. Let's just have fun, because look at their lives. 68,000 to millions of dollars. You all are taking luxury vacations. How old are your children?
6 and 3, ma'am.
6 and 3, and you all are making millions. And you could have been out there hustling, being an independent woman, coming home tired every day. Well, I've said it all. Before I leave, share this. They're crying. Alicia has completely turned. But let me know also if you all think I should do this every week. I had planned to make something, but if you all let me know and you share it, I may do this again next week, and we'll have a little recipe going. Now, you know I don't have measurements, okay? Just a little sprinkle, a little dab, get the arm, the elbow right. I don't know, but that's how I cook. That's how I'm teaching my daughters how to cook, so that they'll be able to look at it and know it's ready. But I love you all. Feminine Asset Challenge. The link is in the bio. The link is it pinned? Okay, the link isn't pinned yet. Maybe watching the replay. I think I'll save this also. It will be up here, but yeah, I love you guys. You can live a life that's happy and healthy and all these things, and it's okay. Last thing I'm going to say, because I feel led to say it, I almost believe that we are in a generation, in a society, where we are idolizing healing. What am I saying? Because so many people are like, I'm just on my healing journey. I'm just on my healing journey. But what is that journey without the healer? That's the danger. All of my healing has not come because I'm pursuing healing. It's coming because I'm pursuing the healer. And from that overflow, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added from my relationship and my pursuit of him. It trickles down to my life. So don't be a part of the movement that's just saying, I'm on my healing journey, I'm on my healing journey. What does that even mean? Go on a journey to radically pursue the Lord. And that's when he'll flip your life right side up. I love you all. My food is getting quite cold. Until next time, it's almost pickup time. And kids are getting out of school. I love you all, and I will see you soon.